Hey guys, we need to talk. Can you tell this is my we need to talk stance right now? We've got Uncle Lanza here with me. Everybody knows Uncle Lanza, and if you don't know Uncle Lanza, you're gonna know him today. Today we're gonna be talking about the 3 things that you are missing when he started in his journey, when I started in my journey. These are 3 things that we were all missing, and today you are gonna find out what you are missing in your business. Why are you having a hard time getting your first deal? Why are you having a hard time scaling? Why are you having a hard time breaking through? Whatever the issue is in your business. And Uncle Lanza is going to talk about this because just in the last couple of years, Uncle Lanza has broken through and you've been full-time real estate for what, almost 2 years?
No, it's been 3 years.
It's been 3 years, guys. 3 years full-time in real estate. So welcome, Uncle Lanza. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. It's good to be here in Arizona with you, hanging out at the house.
You know, guys, this
The
used to be
Subto
the Jerry Norton compound, but now this is the Subto Mansion. So here we are. Thank you, Jerry Norton, for selling me your house. We get to use this backdrop that usually Jesus Christ used to be back here, but that's Jerry Norton's brand. I wasn't going to steal that brand. So what is the first thing you think people are missing in their business?
Well, absolutely. After joining up with you and hanging out with you, just definitely the power of community. Just trying to do it on my own before was really not working, kind of just spinning my wheels. I mean, I was doing some wholesale deals and all of that, but I just didn't have the community. So definitely power of community, power of getting in a community of like-minded people who want to be successful, who are open and willing to share and wanting to give. So that's, something that I got from you and the community that we have.
Well, the thing about community is interesting because a lot of people, you see them on stage, on YouTube and social media talking about community, community, community. And I don't really think people truly understand what that means. And I think as a group, the Subto community has really built a true community. And I feel as if it's the only true community in real estate. And what we'll do is you and I, watch out for video number 2, we will do a breakdown of what community really is in another video, like 3 things that you need or 3 things you need to understand about community and what that actually is. That'll be in a part 2 series with Uncle Lanza. So I knew what he was gonna say for number 1, okay? I knew he was gonna say community for number 1 because it's really obvious, especially in our world, you're missing a community. And some of you guys, we're not gonna extrapolate on community right now. We're not gonna give it a lot of air and a lot of breath. We'll do that in another video like we mentioned. You're probably sitting here going, what the heck is community? That sounds like a catchphrase. Synergy, synchronicity, go get 'em, Tiger. It sounds like a hoax or some silly little phrase that people throw around community, but it really isn't. It is critical that you have community in your journey. So we'll talk about that in another video, but the number 1 thing you are missing is community. Last night I had a Zoom. I did a one-on-one with a random stranger out of my Instagram DMs. And he was saying, I paid $5,000 to another mentor and I want to know, how are you different? Yeah. And in that, I told him, I go, don't join anything I'm doing, don't pay me, but I can tell you, you need to go search for a community.
Absolutely.
You need to go look for somebody to help you. And I said, your mentor, are they getting on the phone with you? He's like, no, never. I go, okay, what about other students in his program? He's like, he doesn't even want me to know the other students because they're not really even successful either. I'm like, that's not a community. I'm like, so that mentor probably talks about community, which he does. I know the person talks about community on his social media platform all the time. I'm like, none of your people are helping each other. Anyway, I'm giving this too much breath already. We'll talk about this in another video.
In the next session.
So what do you feel like the second thing people are missing in their journey to either A, getting their first deal, or B, going full-time in real estate?
So I know the term mindset gets tossed around a lot, but I think it absolutely is true. And one of the things about mindset is that realizing that this actually is possible. A lot of times what I say to myself, so I see others doing it, right?
Yeah.
And I say to myself, why not me? Mm-hmm. Why not me, right? It's like these people who are doing real estate, and like yesterday we did that tour or the inspection of the 50 apartments, right? And when I met those people, I'm going like, you're buying what, like a $10, $13 million piece of property?
Yeah.
And to me, I said, I was in that circle, I'm like, why not me? Had to have that mindset, right? Like, I haven't bought that yet, but to me, as I was with you guys and with everybody that's in that deal, I was like, why not me?
Yeah.
So I think the mindset, we talk about not having fear and everything, but I think to say to yourself, why not me? Why can't I do this? There's no reason. You're holding yourself back if you have small thinking. You're holding yourself back if you have scarcity mentality. Say to yourself, I see others doing this, and then say to yourself, why not me? It's possible for me to do this too. So I say that phrase to myself a lot of times, right? Because sometimes we think, oh, this is too big for me to do. Like, oh, this is not possible for me to do. Why not? Why not you?
Yeah, I really like that. I didn't know you were going to bring up mindset, but it's critical. I tell the story about Robert G. Allen, how he traveled around the country for 29 years teaching people real estate and strategies and everything. And after 29 years of teaching strategy and the mechanics of real estate, he said 99% of the people that I taught failed because what I should have been teaching about was mindset and the belief in yourself and understanding that. And it sounds stupid and hokey because we hear it so frequently. Mindset, again, it's like synergy.
Yeah, it's definitely a term that's like bounced around.
It's like a catchphrase. It's like a t-shirt, it's like mindset, that kind of stuff. But I really like the example you use. So we have a $13 million asset under contract right now. And yesterday we get a call from the inspector, goes, hey, I'm going to be at the property in 30 minutes. So I go, hey, Lanza, he's staying at my house. Uncle Lanza's staying at my house right now. I go, hey, you want to go over to this inspection? You're like, yeah, sure. Drops everything he's doing, leaves his wife and his daughter behind. See you girls later. So we speed over there and we get there and we're walking through. And, I've been in those inspections before, but you saying this reminds me of the first time I walked through a big, asset like that and go, oh my gosh, driving down your streets in your neighborhood or driving through your town and looking at these big properties, apartment buildings, commercial properties, even shopping malls, those types of things, they seem out of reach for you. They seem like, oh, that's a whole other world. That's like Narnia. And you don't even register. You don't even recognize that you could own those assets. And so having the conversation with yourself of why not me is a big deal. The mindset of believing that it's possible for you. So like you finding yourself in that circumstance yesterday probably nudged you into a world where you're like, wait, I see how this is going. These conversations that are happening at the inspection, like I'm having these already on single family properties. Right. Why couldn't I just adjust my conversations to multifamily?
Exactly.
Why not you?
Why not me?
I freaking love that. So guys, write that down.
I love you. I love all the other people involved, but
why not
me?
Why
not me?
Yeah, and I want to see that. There's no greater joy in my mind. I tell people all the time, I'm proud of you when you get your first deal, but I'm impressed by you when you help other people get their first deal. And then I am encouraged to do business with you when you accelerate and you do big things. So when I see you do big things, I'm encouraged to want to do more stuff with you. So guys, why not you? That's really good. So number three.
Okay, so number three is also a catchphrase, taking
Damn,
action.
This is the top 3 catchphrase video.
Top 3 catchphrase, taking action. And again, that is bannered about quite a bit, but let me just tell you a story which I was sharing with you last night. So the first mentorship I got in before teaming up with you and being a student in your mentorship, it took me about 6 months to get my first deal. Then I went back about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We were playing around. A bunch of us were playing around. Like, who was the first person in the Subto Mentorship? And of course, Pace said, well, I was. I went back and looked at my.
I'm number 1, guys. I joined first.
I went back and looked at my emails and realized that I got a deal 10 days after teaming up with you. 10 days after teaming up with you. And why? Because I learned about Subject 2, I learned about creative finance. Did I know what I was doing? To be totally honest, really no, I didn't. But I took action. I just picked up the phone. I did something that we call in the mentorship, the Lanza method. And within 10 days, I got my first Subject 2 house, which I still have to this day, and I'm cash flowing on. So take action. Now, the joke between Pace and I is that I actually never watched the videos, which so many mentorships have videos, and I'm not saying they're not good and they're helpful, but I found it so much more helpful to just take action, start doing deals, fall flat on my face, and learn as I was going along. I mean, there's no, let's be honest. I went to school, I went to elementary school, high school, I got a degree in college. I got a degree in business management. I didn't really learn about business management until I started my own business in San Francisco and actually learned about business.
Right.
You won't really learn about real estate until you actually start doing real estate.
Right.
Yeah,
so I tell people it's the difference between interesting and important. It's interesting when you're not taking action, like all the things you learn, the videos you watch, the seminars you go to, the books you read, those are very interesting. But when you have a problem in an actual business, that information is no longer interesting. It actually is important and it's applicable. So for you, you came into the mentorship and you go, I have a problem, right? So you need to fall forward, but you need a community and you need other people to help you when you fall down and go, hey, I've fallen, I need help. So you bring in that seller and you go, hey, can you call this seller for me?
Yeah.
So in our community, people are calling each other sellers and jumping on the phone and saying, hey, this is a good deal because of this, it's not a good deal because of that. So you need to go back to number one, community. When you're taking action, you need to rely on a group of other people besides yourself to help you solve your problems along the way. And what's great about it is that Uncle Lanza originally relied on me and some other people in the mentorship in the very beginning, couple of months, but then it started turning to the point where now you have become one of the biggest people that people rely on. You have helped dozens of people get their first deal, because now when they create a problem in the community, they can come to Uncle Lanza and go, hey, Uncle Lanza, I have a problem. Can you help me solve it? And you're like, oh yeah, I know the recipe for this.
Yeah, but I never would have learned that
Right.
if I hadn't done it. I mean, you can't learn unless you do.
You can't. So guys, top 3 things that you are missing. I can tell you right now, you're missing community. If you are not successful, you are missing community or not relying on a community you probably have access to. We can't be islands. We can't do this business on our own. Number 2, it is mindset. Mindset's huge, absolutely huge. And I saw Layla Hermosi say something today on Instagram. She said, successful people don't associate with people based on similar pasts. They hang out and rely on people with similar futures. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's so good.
That's really good.
It's so good, because I don't hang out with friends of mine from high school. Not that they're not great people. It's just that we don't have shared futures. We have shared pasts and shared experiences, which is great, but I want to associate with people that I have a shared future with. And being around those people, I absorb their mindset almost through osmosis. It's the craziest thing. So get around people and your mindset will change. People will convince you that you are powerful. They'll convince you that you can do it. And you need to have that same thought process of why not me?
Yeah.
And the third thing is taking action. Again, all this goes back to community and being around people that when you do take action and you ultimately fail, because you need to.
You will.
99% of what I've learned in my life has come from failure. And so you have to fail and then be able to rely on the people that you're associating with and the community that you can rely on. So guys, I can tell you this right now. I got a DM today. This is very interesting. Okay, I want to pull this up and show this to you because this happens all the time. Pace, I watched one of your videos and I have some leads where sellers are looking for more, a higher payment. And unfortunately, with what I have, my education, is I can only offer them 70%. Does that sound like you, Mr. Wholesaler or Mrs. Wholesaler? Is it possible to collab on some deals I have which I'm stuck with? So my response is this: absolutely. But it's smarter for you to work with my Subto community. So guys, if you are looking to collaborate on deals, leads, you need money, you need somebody to underwrite a deal, you need to reach out to Uncle Lanza, not to me. Because this is my answer. I said, I have scaled out of calling sellers myself and now have a team that does that for me. You'd be way more successful working with my students directly. So guys, I'm not a great person for you to call your sellers, negotiate things for you. Yes, I do that for my students when I'm on Zooms, but I'm not doing it outside of that. I'm running businesses. I've got a family. I've got a TV show that we're on.
TV show, yeah.
So this is the guy, okay? Uncle Lanza is the guy. If you guys need to rely on somebody to call your sellers, negotiate, to partner up with you, and maybe even bring private money to a deal that you guys are doing, this is the guy. So how do people reach out to you? Is it Instagram?
Yeah, reach out to me on Instagram. It's Vincent Douglas _, or you can find me on Facebook. It's Vincent Lanza on Facebook.
He needs to change it to Uncle Lanza. Is what he needs.
And I'm going to be changing it to Uncle Lanza.
If he guys, don't be alarmed if he changes it, but we'll put his Instagram and his Facebook link down in the description below. And guys, we'll see you in part 2 of this video where we talk about what community is and the top 3 things that you need to be able to do inside of a community in the next video.